Today we start the wonderful world of lines and slopes of lines or whatever. And basically, if you're thinking about what slope is, I mean, we talk about it in skiing, we hit the slopes. Basically, slopes are, lines that are going either uphill or lines that are going downhill. Now, skiing uphill is a little tough, but downhill skiing is not so bad. And one thing, from left to right, the first things when you talk about slope is you talk about positive slope or negative slope. And uphill slope is always positive. Okay, and that's always looking at it from left to right. You're always looking at it this way. Because if you're looking at this line coming from this way, it would be going uphill as well. But you're always going from left to right. And downhill slope is always negative. Okay. And things that have more slope are steeper. A place you see that is the roofs of houses. Some houses have a lot of slope. They're very pointy. Some houses have little slope, depending on when they're built and what era is going on here. Who's the guy? The guy that did the roofs. It's very little slant. Frank Lloyd Wright. Look at his houses. They were all very flattish kind of roofs. Nowadays, we're into the people like to build the high-pitched slope roofs. By the way, what's the difference and why? Which one is better? Which one's better? More pitch or less pitch?
More pitch.
Well, there's advantages to each. More pitch, why? Because roofs last longer. The shingles on them last longer because the rain comes on them a lot faster and doesn't sit on there. But the problem with higher pitched roofs are there's a whole lot more wasted space. Because if you have a super high-pitched roof, okay, it takes a lot more material to build this going way up here. This is all wasted space because some people put little rooms up there or whatever. But if your house has got just a little bit of pitch to it, okay, it's cheaper to build because you're not paying for all that extra stuff that goes up there. The problem with that is roofs don't last as long. So it's kind of, today we're in the trend of building all these really, whatever, waste of space kind of things, just the way it is. 30, 40 years ago, you saw a lot smaller, shorter roofs because they were cheaper. People weren't building houses as a whatever thing. Yeah. Anyways, the rest of slope. Slope is based on this, write this down. By the way, in math, slope, in math, a lot of times we use the capital letter M, and I don't know why, to stand for slope. Okay, just write that down. We'll get more into that later. They probably didn't use the letter S because we use the letter S for sides a lot. When we talk about squares, we use the letter S. And what slope equals is a bunch of different things, a bunch of different ways we could say it. Most popular thing people say, it is the rise of a line over the run, which means the same thing as how far up over how far over it is. Okay. In other words, this. If something went straight up, well, we can't have that. Let's back that up. Slope should always be looked at as a fraction. Okay? If something has a slope of 1, if the slope of something equals 1, you need to make that a fraction. And how do I make 1 a fraction? Ashley?
1 over 1.
Okay, so here's my slope. Slope equals 1, which equals the fraction 1 over 1. Which means it goes up 1 for every 1 it goes over. If you were drawing a line and you wanted to make a slope of 1, you would do this. We don't know where our starting point is, I'll just start right here. Here's my starting point. I go up 1 over 1. So here's my next point there. I go up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. This, a 45-degree angle, mine's not great. This would be a positive slope of 1 because it goes up 1 for every 1 it goes over. This has a positive 1 slope. Okay, a positive 2 slope, if something had a slope of 2, again, thinking about that in fraction form, it's 2 over 1. Okay, that means if you're drawing a line on a coordinate system here, let's start at the origin, though we don't have to. That means you go up 2 and only over 1. You go up 2 and over 1. And you can see that the slope is a lot steeper, a slope of 1, a slope of 2. Okay? If you had a slope of, I don't know, let's go 8. That would be 8 over 1, which means it goes up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 1. Here is your slope of 8. Okay. Is there a limit to how much slope you could have? No. Okay. But you'll never have a line that goes straight up. We'll talk about that later. Now, usually you see slope in fraction form. For example, a slope of 3/5. What does a slope of 3/5 look like? Well, what that looks like is you go up 3 for every 5 over. So up 1, 2, 3, and then you go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your, starting from the origin, there is a 3/5 slope. And again, it should be a little bit more. Now, is anybody going to ask me about negative slope?
No.
Well, what if your slope is negative?
Let's do it reverse.
Let's say it's a negative 3 slope. Same thing, it's a negative 3 over 1. But here is your deal with negative slope. First of all, you think about which way the line has to go. Negative slope means it is going downhill. So the line has to go in this direction. So you're still going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to go, it doesn't matter, my change, I have a 3 there. So I go up 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to go over 1. Okay, but here's the deal. If I go over 1 this way, if I started from here and I go over 1 this way, that's my positive 3 slope. If I go over 1 the other direction, that gives me the negative 3 slope because it's going downhill. So it's really just kind of the opposite. This would be the positive 3 slope, and this is the negative 3 slope. Positive 3, negative 3. Because it's the same rise over the same run. It's just one side you're going to get a negative side, and one side you're going to get a positive thing. Yes, Mike.
So for the positive slope, to get like your slope thing, it's just like the opposite of where you're playing. You just go up first and over.
Yeah, but see, this isn't in a parenthesis, nor is it got commas between them. They're really not related. Okay? Because we are not always going to start here at the origin. So you can't really say it like that. My line could be over here. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Matter of fact, I'm going to give that to you right now. Let's stop this for a second. Well, no, I'm going to explain it first, and then we'll talk about it. Well, no, I'm not. I'm going to give it to you first. Sorry.